What's up, guys? Going back at it again with another clickbait ass title. A few years ago, I did a video about 10 underrated movies in 10 minutes. Just quick little recommendations of movies that you may not have heard of before. Last time I used IMDB ratings to determine what was underseen, but even those can be kind of tricky, especially now that Letterboxd has kind of become the dominant form of internet movie reviews. So I'm just kind of playing it by ear here. And I may be wrong. To an average crowd, I think these are all pretty unknown. Also, these are going to get more and more esoteric as they go on. The start of the list is going to be the most well-known and the most easily accessible, in my opinion. And as we go on, it's going to get less well-known and less accessible to a broad audience. And just to reiterate, these are not full reviews. They're quick little recommendations. I'm not going to go super in-depth on any of them. I'm running out of time. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie is a film by Matt Johnson and his friend Jay McCarroll. It is based on a TV show, which itself was based on a web show made by the same people, and it is insane. Essentially, the premise of the show and web show and movie is that Matt and Jay want nothing more than to play a show at the Rivoli, this venue in Toronto. And it follows their, frankly, insane attempts to try and get a show. None of which involve writing music or doing anything sensible. It's all like harebrained schemes. Like, for example, in the movie, their plan is to parachute into an ongoing baseball game and just tell people they're playing at the Rivoli, and hopefully that will get them a show. It's very silly, and it becomes a time travel movie. As the IMDb description puts it, Matt and Jay travel back to 2008, blah, blah, blah. But what makes it so impressive is that a lot of this is filmed in public with people who are unaware of what's going on. But it's not really about playing pranks on people. It's just about getting reactions to the character's insanity and doing clever things with the filmmaking. It's a very crazy movie. It's hilarious. Highly, highly recommend this one. I'm really running out of time. Nine Queens is an Argentinian thriller movie about these two con men who form an unlikely partnership and get roped up into this scheme to sell a counterfeit stamp to this rich guy who really likes collecting stamps. This one is so much fun to watch. The way the situation just escalates and gets more and more complicated, and the dynamic of the characters where you can't really trust either of them because they're both con men. If you're a big fan of the Safdies, I would highly recommend this one. This movie isn't as in your face with like close-ups and high tension like that. The camera is actually kind of laid back, but it still has that escalating tension and really fun energy of a Safdie movie. Bad Genius is a Thai thriller movie about kids who are doing bank heists, but instead of bank heists, they are cheating on standardized tests. It's a great premise, and it's so much fun. It's one of the best like heist movies I've ever seen. I made a whole video about it if you want more information, but really I think if the premise sells you on it, you're going to like it. The only thing I will say is if you want like a subtle movie, maybe watch something else because the movie's really obvious and in your face. I love it for that, but I could see some people not vibing with the movie's over the top everything. Runaway Train is a forgotten 80s action thriller about two escaped convicts who end up getting caught on this runaway train. It's a fitting title. It's a very exhilarating, blood-pumping type of movie, but what I really love it for is the characters and the way they interact and play off of each other. This was based on an unfinished script from Akira Kurosawa. I'm not making that up. It's a real thing about the movie, and it does feel that way. You have these very distinct, memorable characters, and the way that they interact and the way their arcs play out just feel perfect in a way. Neighborhood Watch is a drama slash thriller. I like a lot of thrillers if you couldn't tell. It's about a man who has schizophrenia who witnesses a crime happen and he tries to report it, and obviously no one believes him except for his neighbor who actually like kind of believes him, and they have to go on an adventure to figure out who did it and to save this person who got kidnapped. He witnessed the kidnapping. I listed this as a drama thriller because honestly what interests me more is the drama here of these characters and Simon's whole dilemma of not being believed and how tired and frustrating that is, and his neighbor slowly opening up and understanding his condition. It's very interesting, and I think it's really well done. I recommend this one if you like some slower character dramas. The Last of Sheila is a whodunit murder mystery that is one of the best I've ever seen. I was hesitant to put this on the list because it is one that has gotten more well known in recent years because Rian Johnson lists it as one of his biggest influences for the Knives Out movies. If you're a fan of those, I highly recommend this. Honestly, I don't want to go too much into it because, one, I kind of plan on making a full video on this one someday, but also because what makes this one special is the mystery and how it plays out, and I can't really get into that without spoiling it. So check it out. It's really good. It's one of the most unpredictable mysteries I've ever seen in anything. The only thing I will say is that pretty much every character in this is a huge piece of shit. So if that's the kind of thing that will bother you, maybe skip this one. Fermat's Room is a Spanish thriller movie about these people who find themselves trapped in this room that is slowly shrinking in on them. And they have to solve all these puzzles that are scattered around in order to buy themselves more time to figure out the grander mystery of who is doing this to them. This one's really fun. I recommend it if you're into very procedural type, we're trapped in a location movies like Cube or the only one I could think of is that Escape Room movie, but that wasn't a very good movie. So if you saw Escape Room and wanted a better version of Escape Room, then Fermat's Room is the better version of it. Saw is probably the better example, but that's more like gory. I'm bad at this. Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes. This is a Japanese movie about a cafe owner who finds that his TV and the TV in his cafe are linked and show an image of either 2 minutes into the future or 2 minutes into the past. It's a very simple premise and it's a very simple movie, but it is so charming. The whole movie's shot on a GoPro and it's made to look like it's all one take, and it gives the movie a very homemade quality. And the way they keep exploring this science fiction premise is so much fun and so clever. I would recommend if you're really into interesting science fiction movies or really goofy comedy movies, because this is also a comedy. Digital video editing with Adobe Premiere Pro, the real world guide to setup and workflow, is not an Adobe tutorial actually. This is a horror movie about a director sitting down with his editor to edit the film he's just made. Except a ghost is haunting the movie. So a ghost keeps showing up in all these shots they've already shot that shouldn't be there. This one's only 40 minutes long, but it really does build up a great atmosphere. And I know some people don't like jump scares in any capacity, but honestly, I think this movie uses them really well. They're used sparingly, but just the couple times they happen just leave you on edge for the rest of the runtime. Like Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes, it's very low budget and you can tell, but it's kind of charming in a way. And also, the movie explores this interesting idea of directors getting too attached to what their art was in their head as opposed to what it actually should be. And I think the movie does a really great job of exploring that. And I feel like the little rough around the edges moments where you can tell this was very low budget just add to that whole message the movie's getting across. And I think it improves the film. I recommend this to people who like weird gimmick movies and really like movies where you can tell the people making it were working around their limitations and making something greater than what their limitations should allow. And last but not least, another movie I've talked about before, it's Bird People. This is a French drama movie, and it's by far the most esoteric on this list because this movie is slow. It takes its fucking time. But what I love about this movie is I had genuinely no idea where it was going. There are a lot of movies people say that about, but you do know some things. Like, you know it's gonna end in a big confrontation of some sort or some kind of big dramatic conclusion. But in this movie, I didn't know at all what that was going to look like. The premise in general is about an American tourist and a French woman who works at the hotel he's staying at, and sort of just showing their lives. The movie's kind of split into two, and it kind of just draws parallels between their lives. And I think that's all I'm going to say. It takes some very unexpected directions, And when I first saw it in that video where I talked about it, I really liked it, but as time has gone on, it is just stuck in my memory and I appreciate it more and more looking back on it. And to me, that's the sign of a great film. And that's why I recommend this movie, because even if you, yes, you, the viewer, watch it and don't end up liking it, I don't think you'll ever forget it once you've seen this movie. So those are 10 underrated movies and 10 Fuck!